that's the actual word. It's just that they couldn't see it on the actual deed.
Gonna do steps. How you gonna do steps? You already got an answer? Yeah, your 30-second speech. Yeah. What you know and what you tried, what you thought about. Okay. You got any questions for Serenity? Geography. You can't see all that Central America and all that stuff. Ancient. All right, so let's look at your point. Where did this question or confusion come from? What assignment, what activity? It's a quiz. So do you have access to the quiz? All right, so what is the question? What is the real question? That's the real question. Explain to me. So why is Central America considered a cultural health? Cultural health what? That's it? Let me see. Please. Oh, no, I can. Who came up with the question? Teacher, you think?
My POC is how do we solve for the outside measures of the triangle when using a squared plus b squared equals c squared and get the correct answer? So what I know about my problem is that we have to find out which two numbers are a squared and b squared, which I already figured out. And
Are you good? So what is hurt? You know what that is?
that we have to solve for c squared when we find out what a squared and b squared equals in total. And my POC is how do we solve for the outside measures of the triangle when using a squared plus b squared equals c squared and get the correct answer? What questions do I have to help me with my POC? Well, I really don't have any questions that you need to help me with, but I'm just like trying to make sure that I got the correct answer.
So you need confirmation?
Yes, I need confirmation about if I got the correct answer or not.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So this one is
Write it down. Put it on your chair. Put it on your chair right there. Write it
You
down.
just told me that. I haven't, you know. Why should I write your triangle so far up?
not too soon. This is 484 equals e squared.
Tyler, did you see Braden Stewart today?
So, How do we do the square on this one? 'Cause I totally forgot. Oh, knocked it out.
So 700 and is that a 4?
740.
Why are you laughing? Oh, that 4 is funny.
Perfect. Yep. You got it good? You need to sit down? You sure? All right then.
So, and he said it's okay if it was a decimal.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 27 point
You get some green to make it up for you?
something like that, but I wasn't too sure if it was the correct answer or not.
So why don't you just square root 740 in the calculator and get it?
No, that's what I did, just did, but I
What?
wasn't too sure if I did the correct, like, had the correct steps in the
You have to dig
because I
hard
haven't learned this since
to
8th
see
grade.
what connection it has with culture.
No, you did. You did it right.
No, since it was 7th grade that I learned it,
Evelina said, I'm an S game mode. I'm too hot for y'all.
but I did do it correct.
Mm-hmm. Can I see one of the calculators? I just want to make sure that your squares are correct. Excuse me, I haven't made my mouth correct. But I mean, you have the setup correct. That's the main thing.
Did you type?
Oh, and this is the way to where you actually get this, where you do zero, then that.
Oh, I know how to do it, Evelina, but I appreciate your guidance. That's a little insightful because some of these functions I don't remember, but that one I remember that one.
Some of the functions on the calculator I haven't learned since like 8th grade.
Yes, and then when I see it, and they be like, "Just put this here, miss." I'm like, "Okay, I guess."
Yeah, they don't even let us use these calculators anymore.
Really?
Yeah, my teachers don't let me use them.
So you gotta learn it by hand.
They let us use the little bitty blue calculators that really don't have anything useful on them.
But I mean, if you know the basic functions like your square roots and stuff, those work because that's what I was raised on. Yeah, that's old school.
The small blue calculator.
Yeah, like the little cellular power ones. Yeah.
Did you look up cultural hurt? And what did it say?
What's 16 square?
So G would
Yep.
Yeah, you did the setup correct. That's correct.
so I did get the correct answer.
Yeah.
I was just making sure because yesterday when Mr. Midget taught it to us again, I was
All right,
a
so
little
now we're
confused.
talking about, it says.
And then you were like, wait a minute, son, all right. No, have faith in yourself, sir. You did an awesome job. Is anyone confused about the process? You're good?
So what we gotta.
Hey, birthday
figure
girl.
out Is.
You good?
What new things, new inventions, innovations.
I know, but it's coming up soon enough. So I think if I keep saying it, and I'm gonna say it louder each birthday.
Spread to
Yeah.
other places.
When's your birthday? Oh, it's next Thursday?
Well,
It's this
civilization was-
This
has
Thursday?
always been, that's just a people.
Is it anytime
With-
soon?
You know, they got those.
She got a birthday gift and
Whatever.
I'm done.
My birthday's next week on Monday.
Place to eat,
Really? So on Tuesday, do you want anything for your birthday?
Yeah, so the question is.
Evelina,
why is
Do you want anything for your birthday?
America
I'm not too sure.
considered
I'm gonna bring him a candy bar and be like, happy birthday. Happy birthday, because you're so sweet. But then that could be seen as something else. So I just might bring you a
new
candy bar.
inventions from the time period that you're talking about.
What are you gonna do for your birthday?
New-
I'll probably just spend time with my family,
new thing
like
that
you.
spread,
Your 7 siblings are
like-
gonna have a
like telephone.
party.
Yeah, something like that, like
I think that would be so cool. But then, like, if something happened, I blame each one of them for something. I get away with everything.
they come up with hair grease.
Oh no, she built different.
It starts
Yeah,
there.
my mom and dad has
It
favorites.
starts there and then other.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them though.
That's cultural.
Well, that means that they don't really pay attention to you sometimes, so you can get
New
away with some
ideas
stuff.
thought of in a particular area, and then it goes all over the
I
place.
think, yeah.
That makes sense? So why is it considered a cultural hurt? Oh, so what did they create? So that's something you gotta look up. So your teacher will know that you know what you're talking about. when you answer the
Period.
question. So did something happen in your, y'all got notes on there or something? I mean, no.
So isn't the formula that you guys used to plug in? What do y'all call that? Oh my god, isn't it like Pythagorean theorem or something like that? I didn't call it so many multiple names and call it the square root formula, Pythagorean theorem,
What did
pi
I do right
theorem.
here? Didn't I square root 740?
Mm-hmm. Goodness, Evelina, you're writing a book over there. What's the whole thing?
Alright, so it's considered a cultural hurt, Central America is, because it got its independence from Mexico. That's why. Then it
I
says
don't
the
know what
heartland
that
or
should be.
place of an origin of a major culture.
Square root in 740, you got the correct answer.
Then they go and
Your
start
square root was
something else
basically
with
you
it.
checking yourself. So I mean,
They start their own
that was
customs,
aha,
they start
the
their own
essential moment.
behavior. They have their own ideas. That's how America got started. That makes sense?
Can you guys imagine if America wasn't a country? Where would we be right now?
You know, imagine if instead like Texas instead of
Yeah. That's probably why. You're exactly right. That's probably
that
why.
would be so cool.
That's
We'll
probably
have
why it's
more
considered a
diverse
cultural
flavors.
hurt,
I'm here
because
for it.
The country split.
I was gonna say these.
So when your country splits, like when you
Unless-
leave home,
Like a gang war started, like the little mafia and stuff that started here. That would be the only part that's not too, or the cartel, excuse me. I feel like Texas people will be like hot headed and be ready to fight with the others. They're like, you're not even the real one. And they're like, who not? Who not? These hands real? And they'll start something there. Because people act like they can't control their emotions.
You know, I was like, well, I haven't been to really places. My mom and dad are like from different states,
Hmm.
and he was just going to my mom. Like one day, he just went to go pick it up from my
Hurry up, Jelani, do some presentation, boy.
but
You already did it? I did. Dang.
she left when she was like old.
She not that old.
Like she was like legal.
Yeah, so nobody can really say anything.
Yeah. And then my aunt got married at 18 or 16.
That's early, but I mean, sometimes you know. But that'd be like, that's an interesting question as an EQ. If America wasn't established, how would our country be? Where would we be? For one, half of the black people would not be here. Half of any ethnic group would not be here, except for probably the Native Americans.
Over here, it's like a lot of like enslavement and stuff.
Yeah. But I just find it so funny when people say, go back to your country if you don't like it. Like, please tell me where that's at. I would love to know. You're telling me to go back. Go back where? To Narnia? Because it don't exist. I don't know what you're talking about.
Now what we could do like is like, this is like still Mexico and they just stole it.
Yeah. They stole everything. Like, this would be a Spaniard land, so it would have counted with the Mexican stuff. And then the rest of it, depending on the units, would be Native American reservations, basically, all over. So, yeah, like, it's not your land. Sorry.
It's like not even like, it's not one like race that's because white people do Europe, Mexican,
Or German, as they like to say. I'm not just white, I'm German and Irish, and this is Sweden. Like, okay, Sweden, German, Irish, bye. You're not here. Hmm?
That's me.
What do you mean?
And my dad, they're all kind of
That's
mixed
what
up.
culture is.
So,
Your way of living.
Irish, Italian,
What's your POC?
Spaniard.
Oh, I'm looking at your steps, because you gotta be
I
able
thought you
to
knew Native American vibes.
do this when you see it on the quiz or on the test. You gotta be able to answer the question. You gotta be able to know what it is, you know what I mean?
See, my family history real funny because they told me to go somewhere, I'd be like, where I'm going? I don't know where I'm going because
POC, that's good.
I'm originally from Louisiana.
You wrote what you
So,
thought it was.
On my mom's side,
Number 3, erase number
she's Cajun,
See that towel right there, right there?
and that's a mixture of
Nebraska.
black,
Nebraska,
well,
right there.
African
There
descendant.
you go, good.
Then you have some Native Americans, and then you have a mixture of like Spaniards. and Mexicans in the family. And then on my dad's side, he's Creole, and my mom's also Creole because of her dad, but she claims her Cajun side because she doesn't really talk to her dad like that. But with the Creole,
Look like you
I
defined
have Filipino in my family, and then I have white in my family. Then I have black in my family, and then I have some more
the cultural heart.
Spaniards, basically, instead of like Mexicans descended, like straight up Spaniard and Spanish descendants. So it's like, where you gonna send me, homie?
I'm just full of school.
I'm
It's
not.
kind of boring. Like, imagine just being with one thing. Like, instead of looking at your life like on the side.
I think that's cool. Also,
That's
who's
when you-
gonna
That was like, that's when you figured it out. That was your aha moment.
pick one?
Alright, so what did you figure out after
Period.
defining cultural heart?
But yeah,
What did you
I think that's cool because you can. My shoes. You can easily trace back your roots. That's something I don't like. Thank you. That if I was trace back my roots, I would start pulling so much information. I'm like, wait, hold on. I don't even want to know this line. But if you have like a straight linear line or lineage, it's easy to go back and it's easy to be like, okay, well, this happened to so and so. I know this story. Instead of, I think this is his part of our story. He got everybody in the family.
Once you
I mean,
split,
it's hard to believe because, like,
develop,
my grandma,
own
they had like
ways.
over 5, no, they had like over 10 kids.
I don't know. What you say?
They had over 10 kids, each one of my grandma.
Ooh. Ooh.
And then it's like, their moms, they had more than 10 kids too. I was just like, I know they're not all the way.
Good? You got a
Oh
phone?
no.
Those are worried.
No phone?
I know. I feel like they believed in having a lot of kids because it was a lot more help when they got older. My so my grandmother, she has 10 siblings. My great grandmother only had 6.
Go ahead.
Then my grandmother, after that, we don't know how many she had because slavery wasn't too far off. Like, I missed slavery by 3 generations on my mom's side. So I missed that by like 3 generations because my great grandmother, basically, she came fresh off the slave boat to one of the like plantations in Louisiana. And then after that, my great grandmother, she was in slavery, but she was also there for like the proclamation, basically when they were getting ready like to end it. And then my grandmother, like my great grandmother, she married out of slavery. So she married a man and he took her to Virginia, and then she moved back once all of it like was basically over. And then my grandmother at this point, she's here. And she, of course she's not in it. And my mom. So yeah, I think about that time to
And
time.
it's only like, what, like, maybe like less than 100 kids.
What you say?
Like, only like, I feel like it's like maybe 50 or like 100 years.
Yeah, my great grandmother, she lived to be almost 108. So when we would ask her stories about it, she would tell us, and I'm like, we always asked her, like, how far off were you from? Do you like remember the years and stuff? She was like, no, I just remember like one day they were yelling out, we free. And then like when we traced back the lineage, because my mom wanted to know her great grandmother, man. And we found out her name is Lillian, and she had sisters and stuff that live in Maryland. Like they all dispersed because, well, my great grandmother has sisters that live in Maryland, but the kids that she had, they were basically sold. And we're like, it's kind of weird because like I'm not sure if you know who Tabitha Brown is, but she's like this veggie mom, TikToker or whatever, or now she's a social media platform. But when we kept staring at her, I was like, Mom, she looks a lot like you. And when we found out where she was from, because I was like, that's weird. Like, y'all look a lot alike. And when we found out where she was from, it was from the same area where my great grandmother's sisters was from. So it was like, I'm not saying catch the bag, Mom, but you might be related. But when we found that out, it was just so weird because this man came to like one of the funerals for one of my uncles. We had never seen this man before, but he swear up and down that he was like related to my uncle. So we're like, where are you from? And he told us, and it was like up north. And we're like, child, why are you lying? You probably in the wrong city. You the wrong person. He was like, no, for real, I am. I'm related on your grandmother's side. And I was like, just because my grandma got 10 kids don't mean that you're related. And then he talked to us and he showed us pictures and stuff. And we traced it back to the family tree. Like, who you say your mom was? Okay, that's my great grandmother's sister. Oh, somebody got some explaining to do. But yeah, it was weird. So I think that's weird. And I don't know a lot of people on my dad's side of the family, so if I ever met anybody, it'd be a little weird.
No, it's like I hate being straight up Mexican because imagine you like someone, right? And like for us, we don't know who's cousins because we have a lot of like family.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine like you find out your cousins.
You think you find the love of your life and God got a
Yes,
sense
and
of
it's just
humor.
your cousin, like that's incest.
They're like, I'm asking you husband wife. They're like, wait, I said that's your cousin.
Yeah, it's just real quick.
I'd be mad at every family reunion. Like, don't talk to me, bro.
Yeah, it's like
But no, it's just really funny how all of that works in. When people make fun of people, like, oh, the Alabama joke, you sleep with your cousin. Who said you might not be? That's the weird thing about this country.
and then imagine you actually get married to that person and then you find out it's your cousin.
Like, what if you have a kid? Now y'all kids cousins.
It's gonna be like my dad said. Just imagine if your mom was like with her dad, that you would call him Uncle Grandpa.
It's a little dumb cartoon. That's all I got. All right, go ahead.
My PSA is how can you help me understand thesis? I'm done to try to solve my confusion and study my slides for thesis statement. I tried to make up scenarios for a thesis idea. I asked a friend for guidance through the thesis process, and when I know what my question is, you have to have an opinion, make it clear enough for your reader to understand your thesis. You have to have 3 opinions or reasons for a thesis statement. What questions do you have to help me with my PSC?
Do you know why thesis statements are important?
No.
The reason why thesis statements are important is because it, in basically one sentence, it tells you what you're writing about or what the story's gonna be about and how it's gonna play out through it and all that in just like 1 or 2 sentences.
So I have a question for you. Have you ever picked up a book and you see like the little paragraph summary that it gives you of like what the book is going to consist of?
Like the back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could think of that as your thesis. Like for your readers, it gives them an idea of what to expect when they're going to read your stuff. Because you don't want to have something in detail. You be like, I'm going to write about horror movies, and then you do something of a Wreck-It Ralph. They be like, what did she just do? Oh, no, I can't read that. Oh, no. But if you write, I'm going to write about horror movies, I'm going to write about the suspense and thrill that you get when you're reading. You're really like, oh, okay. I know what I'm about to read now instead of some. I'm gonna write this and I put 2 sentences and then I write nothing about it. It gives you an organization of what it's supposed to be about, basically. Yeah. Who else talked about thesis? It was Kaylee last time.
Miss Wyman had me so irritated. Like, she was like,
Oh, today?
yeah, she was so irritated.
Oh, about the essay? She said, if I'm not working that good, I'm gonna bring the essay due date back to November 2nd.
I'm confused. It's like, no, unless you just make it because we don't do the outline. I know she saw me write a little essay. Look, I'll show you.
Not you about to show me your work.
I'll bring it.
What you making in your class? I told you every time you come in here, I'm gonna bother you about that. What's up? You brought them grades up?
Come on.
We working on bringing them up?
Yep.
Okay, that's all I want.
Yeah, I know how y'all were talking about cousins and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I did
know how
this.
God sees all of us as brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna do incest anyways.
See, we're not about to go down this rabbit hole. This is a conversation that would take all day.
It would. This is like a Socratic seminar. This is a debate.
Yeah, it'll be a really good one if we have free
I
time.
did all this. And she's talking about the musical outline. I'm like, why you don't say it? I was like,
Well, I mean, you completed the work. It's easy to go back and do an outline, but it would have been easier to do it beforehand.
I don't know, but I was like, what's the point? Because like, either way, if she doesn't like, she's not going to give me 100 either way.
What you mean either way?
Either way, like, she's not going to give me 100.
I'm making the 100 in this watch list right now.
No, like,
That's
like
awesome.
the 10th grade, like,
Yeah.
Why you make it seem like it's hard?
it is hard. Well, it's not hard, it's just, I don't like that class.
Hey, Rainy, I just want to let you know my pen going out and it's deciding to be really goofy right now. So you see some stuff that's retraced. I'm not trying to practice like kindergarten letters. I'm just trying to make it seem. Boom, drop the mic. Good job. You guys have any questions about this thesis? Hey, don't erase your notes.
I know. I don't have no reason.
Jetty, make sure you hit turn in or done for your goals on Google Classroom.
I barely got enough things for all the notes.
Really?
Yeah.
But you still managed to make it, so that's okay. See, the day I don't have my backup pen, it's the day my pen went at gun. But any other time I got backup pen. I don't think that's nice.
I found a pencil on the floor today. I got excited.
They're like, ooh, free material.
All my pencils are gone. Yeah, they're full. They're scary.
What's scary?
Are they
My
paternal?
twin sisters.
Oh.
Are they like,
They actually they ran away before.
Mhm.
Like it was like 5 and we didn't 5:30. We didn't find them till like 6:30 or like 6 o'clock.
I want twins just to get them out of the way. You know, like 2 kids out of the way.
You don't have to go through that twice. You just one time you got 2 kids.
Yeah.
But that's a lot, though. With this one, you thinking you
My
done?
mom,
They
she's
be like, all right.
smaller than me. She was big.
You understand what's
It was like someone put like beach balls on her.
Huh?
She was wearing like stiletto heel, just like that thin of a heel. And she was like 7 months pregnant. I was like, no, man. No.
Your mama said, I might be having twins, but I'm the baddie in this. It's okay.
When she was
I
in
know I
like
got 2 questions.
8th grade, she fought this girl. She was like 6 feet.
Oh, did you
The
hit?
main idea
Yeah.
in your,
That's crazy.
My mama is a
And she
force
was in like
teacher.
8th grade. Not 8th grade. She was like 9th grade. She made a teacher cry.
you
She quit.
I feel like if
I
I
saw her at the store. She was like, "I'm sorry for being so mean to you when I was a little kid." She was like, "It's okay," and then she left.
I bet that lady probably cried in the car looking at your mama.
Probably.
I was like, she came back from my life, Lord. Why you bring her back?
I feel like if I like, I could
So
make
do you
someone
have
cry
sets
for
of numbers up there?
like on her.
I feel powerful. If I make somebody cry, I make them cry every other time I see them. But oh, look at that crybaby coming back.
What's a
You came back for more. I'm probably the wrong person you want to cry in front of. I laugh at people crying. I think I told y'all that
Oh
before.
my god. That happened to my quinceañera. My friend, he cried, and I was like, "Don't cry."
No, it's like, I don't know, like, see, I try to come to people, but I don't know how to say, because I'm like,
Sometimes I don't have sympathy. I just
I don't do it on purpose. It's just sometimes the people be crying. They be making these weird faces.
It's so
That's what made it funny.
Kaylin,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
when
sorry.
she cries, like, she like her facial gestures
What do
are
you,
so funny.
you had same teacher? So what were y'all?
Like, I feel bad for her crying.
in like 6th grade. She was crying in the locker room. She just like.
She will cry a lot, unless you show her
Well, you're
cool
not.
ones.
Ew.
I think she was crying because someone got a better grade than her on the start test.
You guys can start on your reflection.
She was like, I could have done better when she got up a 98 on the video. She was like, I could have done better.
Oh my god.
If I got a 98 on the bench mark, I would have been happy. But I got like a 70 something on all of them.
What kind of benchmarks?
Math, reading, and was it science?
Which for what?
Math, reading, or writing?
For what grade?
8.
It was math, reading, science. Yeah,
Oh,
science.
social studies.
Science is social
When
studies.
you were in 8th grade, I was in 6th grade.
No,
you were in
when we
seventh
were in
grade.
8th grade, you were in 7th grade because if you
What's
were in
up?
6th grade,
All right, we're in reflection.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I remember.
City, yeah.